One piece of advice I would always give is to stay diverse. Always have your hand in a couple of buckets. You never know which market's going to take off at that time, and if you have expertise in those other markets, then you can always ramp up, renewing where your team is around that market.
Welcome to the Duck Soup Podcast.
There you go. I like it.
Ben Connor here is joining us at the Specs Annual Conference at National Harbor, Maryland. This is the 2026 annual convention, and ran into Ben earlier today at Topgolf and had a little fun.
Yeah.
Played a little Topgolf together and got to learn a little bit about Ben and what his business is. So I wanted to ask you, Ben, just to, if you would, give yourself a little bit of an introduction and
Sure.
your background and where you're from and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am Ben Connor with Connor Construction. I started my company about 13 years ago. I have a background of general contracting from the time I was 14 years old. I've held every position from laborer all the way up to a vice president of another company. At the time that I was the vice president, I was there for about 3 years with this company, and the owner had a different path that he was looking to take. He was looking to go in a direction of site work and paving, and I had a heart for fit outs, new builds, that type of construction, and I said, you know what, I think this is the time for me to make a break. And I sat down with my wife in our 2-bedroom apartment and said pretty much, hey, we're gonna make a move here, and she was all on board, and we made it a start from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started doing some labor, you mentioned. What was,
Yeah.
Tell me a little about the type of labor you grew up doing.
It's hilarious because I had a general contractor that was a neighbor when I was 14 years old, and he said, come work your summers here. And I was like, all right, well, I jumped in, and you know, one of the things that I did when I got to those job sites was I made sure I plugged myself in heavy with the site superintendent or the foreman so I could get some direction, and really, I was intrigued. I wanted to learn about it.
How old were you when you started this?
14.
Oh, okay.
14, yeah. It was my summers in between,
So
and
we're
then I would
bending
do some
labor laws a
after-school
little bit
stuff.
there.
A little bit, maybe, yeah. So it was close enough. We were like family.
Was this residential or commercial?
It was
type?
commercial. It was exactly
cool.
the stuff that I do now. So
Wow, okay.
very, very similar. It was more office stuff than it is retail, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of the same type of builds.
Sure.
So, but the site superintendent or foreman would always, you know, he'd have me moving these studs from this side to that side, and then he'd see me coming. He'd say, you know what? Because I wanted to go learn from him, and he'd see me coming, and he'd say, man, this guy's coming over again. You know what, I told you to put those studs in the wrong place, so you had me move them back to the other side of the building.
Just as a lesson.
Yeah, it's like, but it was a great experience, you know, being able to understand every single role that goes into our builds.
Yeah, project, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot that
100%.
goes into it, so
Yeah.
coming from that type of beginnings, very, very useful.
Yeah.
I mean, the education and knowledge that you come into this starting at the age of 14 is probably just priceless.
Yeah, it definitely helps, you know, and by the time I was 19 years old, I was a foreman. By the time I was 22, I was a site superintendent for a pretty large company in South Jersey, and running some pretty massive projects.
So from that company, where did you go from there?
From which one? From the
guy who had you framing walls at 14.
Walls and all. So I moved on to another company that paid a little more and was a little bit larger. So they did some residential and commercial work, and they were looking to grow their commercial division. And I went in as a carpenter for that company as well.
Okay.
So yeah, and then from there, my brother, who's an architect, had just come back from Louisiana, got his degree, and he was working for a company in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And he said, hey, we're looking for some young superintendents, and they gave me a shot as an assistant site superintendent.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the name of your company now?
Connor Construction.
Connor Construction. Where are you guys based out of?
We're based out of Deffert, New Jersey. We do work in 41 states now.
41 states?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's mostly, like, give me a scale or a pie graph that we could think about. Is it 100% retail? What portion, you know?
Right, so more of our local market, when you talk about the Philadelphia area, we do a heavy bit of work in the industrial flex space. We do medical offices, we're doing restaurants, we're doing out of ground work. Our larger scale for when we get it nationally, which is probably about 70 to 75% of our overall revenue in a year, is retail work.
So 75% is national retail.
Right.
41 states.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we probably have guys with boots on the ground probably in about, 18 to 20 states at a time.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
What type of capacity are you guys looking at right now? I mean, what's the job look like today? You got jobs going on?
Yeah, we do. We're doing a lot. So we're doing Ray-Ban's flagship store in Manhattan right now, which is a really big project for us. We're and my partner Joe Madden is also he's like heading that up. He's really driving the work. He has PM working with him, but really he's the ultimate force behind it. We just finished up a flagship store for Foot Locker in Manhattan as well. But we're doing a bunch of work in Texas. We're taking a lot of these 7 brews out of the ground in Jersey. They're pretty easy fit builds because they're modular buildings that come in on a crane.
Yeah.
But we're doing all the site work and getting it prepared, getting all the utilities in and electric in place, and then dropping the building.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So Connor Construction is how old?
13 years.
13 years in business.
Yes. Yeah.
Based out of the Jersey, Philly area.
That's correct.
Okay. So in the last 14 years or so, 13, 14 years of doing this, at what point did you guys make the decision that, or how did you find out about the trade show circuit, such as Specs?
So I brought up my partner, Joe Madden, earlier. He is an amazing force in the retail world. He was a director of construction for Gap and Old Navy for a lot of years. And it's a great story about how I got him as a partner is that he was, I was coaching his daughter, played on my son's soccer team when they were young. His wife was not happy about the amount of travel that he had for Gap and Old Navy. And I approached her and said, hey, I would love to entertain having him come to work for me as my director of construction. We were much smaller at the time, but I knew that he had that retail world he could bring with him. Yeah. And I also knew that it would be a great opportunity for him to check out of the client side and get over to the general contracting side and see our world a little bit.
Right.
So it was great. We made that move, made the decision to come over. He made the decision to come with us, and then we made another decision to say, hey, this is going to take a year for us to build out a team around retail. We can't just dive into this because it's really a special market.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. You're as good as your last opportunity,
Right.
and if you screw up, it's probably your last.
Yeah, probably
with that
them.
client.
Right.
So
yeah, yep.
Interesting. What a strategic maneuver on your part to close the deal through his wife.
Yeah. It made it fun too, because I get to tell that story now that I offered her the job for him.
She closed the deal. He didn't have a choice, did he?
Right. Well, probably not much.
Is that proof that women rule the world, or
I don't know. I don't know. I think that he
have some influence.
Yeah,
though.
I think that he knew what he wanted too, and probably she saw behind the curtains a little more about what was affecting him. Yeah. And how, the travel was wearing on him, and that, that he really desired to be home where his family
mentioned
was
he's
more.
got kids playing sports and stuff. He wanted to be around for that, I'm sure, and it's tough to be on the road when you got all that going on.
Yeah, and the tough part is now that we have such a large retail model into our company, is that now he's back traveling a lot.
Oh, it was all a trick.
Yeah.
That's funny. Awesome. So the trade show stuff. So how long ago was that first trade show then?
So that was about 6 years ago was our first one.
Which one was it?
I believe it was this one.
Specs.
Yeah, Specs and RCI.
And you've been coming here 6 years every year?
Yes, if not me individually, people from my team come.
Sure.
Yeah, so either a business development manager or Joe attends almost every year. I think this is the first one that he's missed.
Wish he could be here for it.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping that he gets here Monday or Tuesday. We're going to say.
Okay.
We're trying to get him out here.
Maybe we should push pause and bring Joe in on the back end.
Definitely could do that. He would love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll try.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And the trade shows have been beneficial, you think, or?
Yeah, definitely beneficial. I mean, you come in, you meet a lot of people, you shake a lot of hands, and the real goal at the end of the day is that you're going to really make 1 or 2 great connections out of it. And the fact that this world is so much smaller than people from the outside may realize, right? I mean, the cards change, but the faces don't.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of moving around between different retailers that, they're the director for this company, and then 2 years later they're the director at this company, or a PM over here, So the basis of knowing everyone here is that, they'll tell each other the story for you, and the network that you're able to grow just from making 1 or 2 good connections, because as long as you do good work for them, they're going to turn around and tell their friend at this place or that place and say, hey, you're struggling for a contractor here, give this guy a shot.
Because they network amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They have their own community.
Right, 100%.
We're on the outsiders.
Yeah, you got to dig in. You got to find the hole.
Do you think that it's if you come to these things long enough, for maybe a contractor that's looking to get into this world, and they think, oh, I think the trade shows might be the ticket in,
right?
But they don't have maybe, say, the ability, the sales personality to just get out there and start sticking their hands in people's faces to shake their hands or whatever.
Right.
Just the exposure of being here could be beneficial, and eventually someone will stop by.
I think that, and I think just walking the halls, you're gonna have a conversation. Whether you're the type of person that's going to just go and lead that conversation, or somebody's going to come up and see you on your own. They're going to come find you, and you're going to get pushed by other contractors here, which is great. I really love the networking between the contractors that happen at these things. It doesn't feel competitive. It feels like a way for us all to try to help each other grow and figure out what you're doing right, what I'm doing right, and then what are we both doing wrong that we could I can get some ideas from you and you can get some ideas from me to make ourselves better. Yeah.
I like that, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah,
this
awesome.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get to know one another.
Right.
So when we were at the Top Golf event earlier, you mentioned to us your experience with internal project management softwares and systems and the whole tech side of what we do. And that's something that Duck Soup Construction is starting to consider and upgrades and making some moves.
Sure.
What is your experience with some of those softwares or implementation type database and services?
So we have not yet found a software that works perfect for us, right? It always seems like whatever software we're using, we have to dive in, we have to put some stuff here, we have to put some stuff over here. It's always a blend, and it's the double entry of data and the amount of time that it takes for teams to just say, all right, well, we put the information in on this side, now it's got to go over to your AP or AR, they got to do it in a different way, then it's got to go, back in for the controller to approve things, and so what we ended up doing is I took on the mindset of, I know exactly what my software system needs, and I decided to develop it myself.
Yeah.
So we've already got our team in Prolidify.ai. So the goal is our office team's in now, our PMs, our accounting team. We're still pushing out the last fourth and fifth phase of the build, which is our site superintendent, site management portion of the work. So it's your daily logs, your safety reporting, your photos, your closeout packages, all of those details still need to be built into it. But we're right on the edge of it. I expect by the end of March, middle of April, we will have this thing 100%.
Ready to roll out.
Ready to roll, yeah. And we plan on taking it to market.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
100%.
Will that be Connor Construction?
It will be Prolidify.ai. It's its own entity.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
awesome.
We're just looking to build user base in the very near future.
I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be very impactful. Is there a facility maintenance aspect to that, or is it more specifically for like the project side of it?
Yeah, more specifically right now for the project side. The sky's the limit with what I built. Adding pieces in that we realize that there's a market for are not going to be hard to do. But right now what it is we're adding our projects, we're building our complete estimate inside of it. It's utilizing AI to pull down information off of drawings and all of the information for subcontractors that are located in the locale, the zip code on the drawings. It's has the ability to build a full estimate out for your team. Obviously, this is not to replace estimators, it's to amplify them. So the initial scope of work is driven in for them. They can get their numbers out on the street with subcontractors immediately. They can take it from there, and then they have to get in and do their takeoffs. And then they're pulling their takeoff right back into the system. Yeah. And then they're able to drag and drop all the components from their takeoff right into division tables that were already built for them.
Wow, so it's really just making it more efficient so that they can get numbers out.
It's so time efficient. And then right from there, what we do is we take it, and once the project's awarded, then it's building a contract automatically. It's sending MSAs automatically to subcontractors that are being awarded. It's getting all the COI documents, it's bringing the W-9s in, any compliance documents that your team requires. It's getting that information before a subcontractor is able to be awarded. They're able to work on their buyout right inside the system. They're building a full project tracker in the background while this is happening. So you see in real time the full cost of what your project's what it's going to take to get the project done, and you're able to dial into the penny on what the overhead your company spent on the job.
Wow, that sounds extremely useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to check that out.
Yeah.
And that's Prolidify.
Yeah, solidify your projects with Prolidify.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's good, right?
That is good. Smooth.
Yeah.
Awesome. One more question to ask you, and we could probably wrap this up, but this is going to be industry related, but I'm interested in getting your perspective on what you think the retail market, being the main revenue stream for you as well as us and a lot of the players here at Specs. What do you think the horizon looks like for the retail market and the economy in the United States?
I honestly think that there's going to be a much bigger boom in the very near future. You see interest rates are getting ready to start coming down, and as that's
hearing
happening,
about it.
yeah, so we're hearing about it, and with that happening, it doesn't seem like the retail market ever really slowed. Even after the pandemic, it just like, it had its little lull, but then it just really picked up. One piece of advice I would always give is to stay diverse, right? Like always have your hand in a couple of buckets. You never know which market's going to take off at that time, and if you have expertise in those other markets, then you can always ramp up and start, renewing where your team is around that market.
Right.
Yeah.
So bright future. I like it.
I hope so.
All right. Was there anything else that you would like to cover?
No, I think it was a nice conversation.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Can't go wrong with two Bens having a talk.
No,
especially not about
I didn't even
construction.
intro myself. No one knows who I am. All right,
The
Ben.
star.
Yeah. Well, it was nice meeting you.
You too, Will.
Thanks for the chat.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome.